Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today. My name is Steve Murray with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Today, we're going to talk about uh, Social Security claiming. It is indeed one of our most popular webinars. It's one that we try and do at least 2 to 3 times a month because there is so much interest around Social Security claiming, and that's been pretty consistent for really the past 5 or 6 years. So thank you for joining us here today. Our guest speaker is Dave Pimper. Dave is the president of Lazarus Coaching, and he is also, over the last 8 or 9 years now, built himself into pretty good resource for seminars on Social Security claiming. He does Social Security claiming offers on his radio show, so he's got a radio show as well. And beyond that, he's developed really a high level of expertise to help our producers in questions regarding Social Security claiming. So that's really going to be the main subject of today's webinar. He's going to go through the top 5 or 6 things about what you need to know to answer the bulk of the questions you could get around Social Security claiming. And then he'll offer the opportunity for gathering additional expertise as well. It's very valuable sleeve of knowledge, and of course you all know that, or you probably wouldn't be joining us here today. So again, my name is Steve Murray. Glad to have you with us. Kind of getting rolling on the fall of the year. Plenty of upheaval in the marketplace in general. Stock market's doing what it's doing, and interest rates are climbing at a pretty steady rate, so it's making for a lot of interest, as you might imagine, in the insurance part of the business. Annuities and life insurance, single premium life, have just spiked notably here, 15, 18, 20% over the last month and a half, which you had already seen in the first part of the year about another 15% increase. So great time to be in this part of the business, and glad that you're with us. And I do believe that the more people right now that are aware of the offerings that we can make around safety and security and growth, I think the more folks that are going to want to do business with us. So it's a good time to display knowledge around other things like Social Security claim and get people in front of you for seminars and radio or whatever, what have you, to kind of grow your business. So we're going to talk about a couple things today around that as well. And I'm going to speed through some things. Just the new producer builders, if you are not aware of these, I want you to call your sales director. You can see before you on the screen some of the things that we offer in your first 180 days. I kind of call it marketing reimbursement on super steroids. But the idea is to help you get off to encourage you to get off to a good start, and then help make that start great by offering some other perks that can help you get in front of more people. Now, there's some things there too that are just incentive based, whether it's a little extra cash or a Ritz-Carlton vacation, what have you. But I would really like to the 20, 15 or 20 of you that are on with me today that are relatively new to IAMS, hopefully you'll take advantage of that and make sure that you ask your sales director about it. The RPM program and marketing reimbursement, two very basic and simple programs. The bigger checks go out of marketing reimbursement, or more checks, I would say, go out on marketing reimbursement, but some of the bigger checks actually go out on the referred producer program. It's a simple program. If you refer somebody to us and they do business, and we pay you a bonus on the business that they do for as long as they do it. And so that really helps you. It's a little side money that you make, kind of an agency building opportunity without the liability that goes along with building that agency. And then marketing reimbursement, you do business, we put money in your marketing reimbursement account. And then when you spend money to grow your business, we match your spend dollar for dollar. So it kind of doubles the value of your marketing. So marketing spend. Life and Annuity Academy, we just have one more right now scheduled for this year, and that's coming up here very shortly. Though it's not closed out, it'll probably close out here the next day or two. If you have interest in joining us for an academy, I know, let's see if I can pop this up here really quick. Anyone on today that has interest in joining us for academy, hit yes on this poll, and we'll have someone call you today and see what the fit would be. The next academy is November 2nd through the 4th. That's all expenses paid. We're going to take care of your travel. We're going to take care of your hotel and meals while you're here. You're going to get a lot of sales ideas, a lot of marketing ideas. You're going to get some product. You're going to get some compliance type stuff that can help you. Right now, there's no doubt that That's a factor. Suitability is a factor in you being successful, and we'll talk about that for sure. So the main focus, though, if before I put the poll up, you might have noted we have top producers there, we have third-party vendors there, and it really is a lot of sales ideas and a lot of marketing ideas that can help you grow your business. So if that's something that is of interest to you, put yes on that poll, and if you will, do it rather quickly here. We'll get moved on. If you've been to an academy, which I know that a few of you aboard with us today have been on an academy, please, by all means, call your sales director, walk them through what's going on in your business right now that we can help with. We have been having a lot of luck with folks that are academy attendees and doing a marketing analysis before, and then letting them see some of the opportunities there, and then following up after that with, hey, these are some things that we can do. If you want to drop, uh, you know, look at a 20 to 30 to 40% increase in your business, we can do that. And how do we do it? Well, it's not the same for everybody, but we can find a way to help you get there. And so I know other IFMOs say, yeah, we'll double your business in the next 6 months, and anything's possible. If you're willing to spend a whole bunch of money, we can get you in front of a bunch of people, and that's all possible. But realistic ways to systematically grow your business by 20, 30, or 40%, they're out there as well. And I think that's more realistic for most people. So if you want to know more about that, give us a yes on that poll. And I'm going to close that out now. Thank you all, by the way, or most of you, for a quick answer. Close that out. Let's go rock and roll here. Okay. Most of our business now is done via eApp. If you haven't gotten started on that, I would call your sales director. We've made it as easy can be. Now you can do an eApp with all carriers from our website, so you have to pop from carrier to carrier. If you do business with multiple carriers, I know that can be a problem. You can do, if you got one client, you're doing a couple apps with different carriers, you can do a little cut and paste. That really makes it easy for you. Don't have to redo all the information on the application again and again. The registration process on our website is literally 2 to 3 minutes to get you set up to do that. We have to approve it, but we can get that approval done rather quickly. So for those of you that aren't already doing eApps, I would recommend that. For those of you that are doing eApps but doing them via the carrier's portal, it's this exact same portal. It's just that you can access it through our website. It's Firelight, and so we can make your life a little bit easier there. Get with your sales director and get that set up. Just give them a call. Say, hey, I need to get registered to do eApps, and it'll take literally 3 minutes. Let us help you with your sales, your marketing, advertising approaches. We've been helping a lot of folks, and really the feedback I get is that we provide some really dynamic advertising solutions that for many seem out of reach, and for us are just like falling off a log because they do it all day long. So there's some things that we can do pro bono that will make you immediately look better and more professional in your area. And if you want to build what you look like and the number of people that see you in your area, we can help you with that as well. And if you just need some assistance on some, you need some marketing pieces to send out to some clients, we can do all that for you. Those are all pretty much free services of the advertising team. So hopefully you'll take advantage of those. Many of our agents now use Retirement Analyzer, and I think that's a growing, probably one of the more quickly growing parts of our business among our top 200 folks. Is they're seeking out solutions like the Retirement Analyzer, if not the Retirement Analyzer, because we've been working with Retirement Analyzer software package. You can see before you the basic questions you can help your client answer with that, and you can kind of see what the graphic form of that looks like and how that can help you in the sales process is something you would learn relatively quickly. More and more, I think our producers lean towards something like this for their A, B, and C clients to make them stickier. Once you've done a retirement analysis for someone and then done maybe one annual review where you've updated that retirement analysis, they're not going to go to someone else. They're going to want to stick with you. And so how valuable is that to you when more money comes along, when it's time to move that 401k, or when they're looking at, getting a better rate on some of their money right now? We've got MIGAs right now. Our best MIGA right now is 5% for 5 years. you've got clients with money sitting in money markets and sitting in checking accounts that maybe they haven't told you about at one a tenth of that at best in many cases. So there's certainly all kinds of ways to get in front of new clientele when you're using Retirement Analyzer, making them dependent on you for what are the best answers? Are they always going to look to you for the solutions? I would say you'll get first shot, and we can help you when we pay for that for folks that are doing business with us. And even if you're just getting rolling with us and you want to have a look at it, we can give you 30-day access. So you can get a real good look at it. Run one on yourself, run one on one of your clients, and see what it looks like. I would highly encourage it. I'll send you a chat here in a minute with Marcus's contact information. But Marcus here at imsinc.com is his email address, or just call him and have him send you out the link. Iams Wealth Management, many of you folks are Series 65 or want to get your Series 65. I just want to make sure that we have that capability. Give your sales director a call, and if you need more information, we'll connect you up with somebody at Iams Wealth, and they can walk you through what they do, how they do it, what the payouts are, why you should think about it, why they're better than some other RIAs, and why, if you don't have your IAR at all, why that might increase your annuity business as well, or your general fixed business, to have that ability to do that type of business, because that's what we find. So give us a call here at the office, 800-255-5055, if that's an area of interest for you. I'm going to skip over this slide because we just enjoyed the Greenbrier. We'll be announcing soon our next trip, which is going to be to a place called Kiawah Island. We're going to go to a wonderful resort there called the Sanctuary. I've enjoyed that resort many years ago, and it's a great place. We'll be sending out an announcement of that with more information here very quickly. The good news is that you've been qualifying for that since July 1 with any business that you've done. And right now, from October through at least the end of November, we're going to give double credits towards Kiawah Island. So watch for that announcement, but keep in mind that any business that you're doing with us right now is getting double credit. All right, here we are. I zipped through that pretty quick, and today with us we have the coach that can make your business grow. His name is Dave Pimper. I haven't given you much of his background. I told you a little bit about Social Security claiming and what his expertise is there, but give you a little background. Dave has been in the business since the early 80s, about 1981, celebrating, must be 82, because he just celebrated 40 years in the business here recently. He does radio, he does seminars. Dave is a marketer. There's no shortage of people that he's talking to, which is the key to his success of his business. He's always got people in front of him with new appointments week after week after week. And when you have that happening, you're going to get more than your share of business if you've got the right tools in front of you. And that's part of what we're going to talk about today with Social Security claiming, is having one of those tools in place, not only to help your current clients, but to help meet new clients via seminars, or if radio is something that is of interest to you, we have a really turnkey system there. And Social Security claiming is something that always draws plenty of attention when you offer it on the radio as well. So great to have Dave with us. A lot of experience in Social Security claiming. As I mentioned earlier, he's going to talk about kind of the 5 key things that can help answer 60, 70, maybe even 80% of the questions you get on Social Security. And then we're going to have the ability to actually round out that experience and get you 100% set and ready to go, whether you want to talk about it via seminars or just have that available to your clients when they come in. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the coach, the president of Lazarus Coaching, Mr. Dave Pimper.
Hey, thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate the kind words. Actually, it is 41 years. July the 9th of 1981, and who would have thought that I'd be in the business, going into my 42nd year here. So it's been a good ride. It's a great ride right now if you're doing fixed business. Market down 24%, bond index down 17%, fixed index down 0, fixed down 0, cash values down 0. It is
beautiful thing.
Yeah, it just has a ring to it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But today we're talking about Social Security. This webinar is going to last 25 minutes. So at 20 till, we're going to be done. So this is not going to be a real long seminar, but we're going to give you some great insights on Social Security claiming, how to maximize Social Security, and why you, the advisor, should know this business. I'm going to tell you right now, if you know Social Security claiming, they're not going to someone else. I, for years, had someone who knew it. I did not. And I would go back, and then they had a follow up question, my client or prospect. I didn't know that answer. So finally, I just said, darn it, I'm just going to learn it myself. But I didn't have kind of a mentor. And I am that mentor, that coach. I've coached for many, many years. But with seminar, with Social Security claiming and doing, and I do lead generation off of seminars. So it's just like tonight. I mean, we've got a seminar tonight, and I got 23 people that are signed up. I would think that 18, 19, and we'll probably have 15, 16 buying units. I'll be very unhappy if I don't get 10 appointments tonight, just from tonight, not the next one I have off the seminar campaign, but just the one tonight. And so let's talk about Social Security maximization. Sometimes you'll hear it Social Security optimization, but it's maximizing your benefit. So here we go. If you got questions, type them in. And of course, at the end, we'll put up a poll if you'd like to go in and talk. That's wonderful. 15, 20 minutes just to see kind of what your practice is, a little bit of how much you know about Social Security, if it could help your practice. Is there ways to market Social Security? And there certainly are. From CNBC, she says most retirees get little advisor help on Social Security, and the body of the article says a majority of older Americans get no, nada, none professional advice about a key part of their retirement planning, Social Security, even if they work with a financial advisor. A recent study concluded. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Social Security is a powerful thing. So let's take a test. Let's just find out how much you know, okay? And this is actually a test only 1 in 300 seniors. And I want to say, how about you as a financial advisor? Whether you be from, I don't care if you're independent, Northwestern Mutual, Merrill Lynch, UBS, Edward Jones. Most advisors don't know much about Social Security claiming. And you know why that is? What do you think, Steve? I don't know, Steve, are you still there? Sometimes he takes a little break. Hey, why would you think most advisors, financial advisors, from insurance agents all the way up to the big boys with the big investment banking groups, why don't they know much about Social Security claiming? You know what the main reason is?
Probably time. Maybe they don't think it's important.
It could be time. No, it could be time. Well, it's not important otherwise. But you know what the main thing is? Because how do you make money from giving out Social Security advice?
Right.
You don't, do you?
Yep.
You don't. But there's in time. You're exactly right. It does take time to learn it. It isn't just like, hey, I'll go coach with Dave and I'll be an expert. I'll know everything he knows, in 3 or 4 coaching sessions. No, but you'll have much better background. But you know what happens is, to really know when to claim Social Security at the right time, you've got to know some things. You need to know which Social Security cannot ask. You need to know about what income they're going to bring in when they're retired. You need to know what type of assets they have, because you might want to take Social Security later and let your assets, your 401k, your 403b, your thrift savings plan assets. Well, when you start uncovering those, I can't tell you now how many times people say, well, it is 700,000, but just at the beginning of the year, it was 190,000 more. Well, are they happy? Well, heck no, they're not happy. No, that's where we go help them to be happy. If you'd have worked with me, this portion wouldn't have lost, or all this wouldn't have lost. It's such a great way to prospect kind of incognito, because you need that information to really tell them the best advice. But you know what? The average Edward Jones guy, no, you don't make. How do you make money from Social Security? Well, you don't per se. It's all the questions you ask of when their best time to claim is, though. So let's take this test. That's the reason. Yeah, and Steve is right. Does it take some time to learn it? Yeah, but it certainly goes a lot faster if you have someone like myself, a coach, a mentor, that can help you through that. So here we go. Here's 5 questions. We're going to go through them pretty quick. To maximize your monthly Social Security check, at what age must you claim the benefit? To maximize your monthly Social Security check, at what age must you claim the benefit? Say it's a single person. How do you maximize the benefit? What age are you going to take? Write it down. Well, if you put full retirement age, you're wrong. It's age 70. Now, this is not the biggest lifetime benefit. That depends on a lot of factors. This is just your biggest benefit. Yeah, age 70. Second question. What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? Age? Write it down. 60. Okay. Third question. Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for a spousal benefit? Pretty straightforward. Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Yay or nay? Here we go. They do. 4. Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? That's a good question. Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Here we go. Yeah, they can. But it's if 4 stipulations are met. They have to have 4 of those stipulations have to be met on divorces to take the benefit. If you can name 2 of those stipulations, I'm going to give this answer to you, even though you got to have 4 to do it. If you can name 2 of them. So what are they? Can you name 2 of them? First of all, what has to line up? Well, first of all, your marriage had to last 10 consecutive years. Second one is you are currently unmarried, not your ex, but you. Third one is your ex is at least 62. Fourth one is the divorce was 2 years ago or longer. All 4 of those have to line up. But if you got 2 of those 4 right, I'll give you yes for the answer here. And the last one is also is on divorce too. Are you eligible? Oh, survivors. Are you eligible for survivors benefits if you're divorced? So now we're throwing survivor and divorce together. So are you eligible for survivors benefits? So let's say you were married, you divorced, your ex-husband dies. If all that happens, can you use that benefit of your ex? Say he's married. I mean, can you? Write the answer down. What do you think? Yeah, you can. So divorces, the Social Security Administration is very liberal on the rulings. If you're divorced, even more so. That's why I always say that if you're divorced and your ex dies, it's like the triple play. You get all kinds of benefits that you can get. All right, how'd you do on that? Well, I'm going to go back on that. How'd you do? Because the reason is if you got 1 or 2 right, you didn't do very well. If you got 3 or 4 right, that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. Especially if you didn't guess. If you actually knew the answer, if you got all of them, yeah, then you don't need coaching. You might need to brush up. But I'll tell you this: knowing Social Security is powerful. And if you know the individual benefit, the spousal benefit, your Social Security claiming, divorce survivor, if you know those 4 things, I always used to say restricted, but that's kind of going away. There's only about 15 months left on it. But if you know those benefits, about 80% of your questions you can answer. That's why we spend a lot of time with that with coaching. And we're probably one of the only, IAMS is one of the only FMOs, and I'm not employed by IAMS. I mean, I certainly run all my business through them. They're my FMO of choice, but I like what they do with producers. I mean, they try to find ways to go in and to help that producer with their production, to increase their production. So what happens is with seminar marketing, which I have a seminar tonight, hopefully I can get 10 appointments from that. Seminar marketing, Retirement Boss Radio being your own radio host, both of those, I coach you up on Social Security with 3 coaching sessions at no cost to you, none. IAMS pays me to coach. Doesn't cost you a thing. Or You can do no marketing, just do it a la carte. $800 for 4 sessions to really learn Social Security. Is there some work on your part? Yeah. Is there a book to read? Yeah. You buy a book for $20. I call it the Bible, Social Security Bible. I used to read 3 different books. Now it's just one. But I read that book every January of every year, cover to cover. I've done it for 11 years. This will be my 12th year I've done it. It's a great book. Yeah. But then I coach you one-on-one over the phone. 3 different ways to get coached up on Social Security. So you can't leave this webinar and say, boy, they just didn't give us any options to learn Social Security. Any questions, type them on in. How important is Social Security? Vary. Almost 60% of every retiree in the U.S. count their Social Security to be the major source, bigger than pensions, bigger than savings, bigger than their 401k. This comes from Janet Herron back 3 years ago in July. Doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. $100,000 to lose. A lot of money. How much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? I'm going to tell you right now, it costs you a lot. Retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household. Why? Over their lifetime. Why? Because they took it at the wrong time. Sheesh. That's why I got that big old drain there, draining your money for making the wrong decision. Bullet point 3, only, and just listen to this, which is so bizarre, this information. Overall, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. And it isn't just waiting to 70. Depends on life expectancy, other income sources, how much assets you've got, what you want to do, what your expenses are. There's all kinds of things that come into play, what your debt is. But Social Security, most people don't have a clue, and it's a subjective. If you go to 3 accountants and ask what's 2 plus 2, well, the correct answer is 4. There is a finite correct answer. It's not 3.5 or 4.5. You go to 3 advisors, they might tell you 3 or 4 different things that may not, all of them could be correct. But the biggest thing that I do is, and how I coach, is finding out what the ancillaries are. Like your health, like your financial status with income and assets, like what your debt and expenses are. All of those things come into play when finding out. How many of those things can Social Security Administration ask? None. None. They can't ask any personal information. They can't give advice. That blew me away 11 years ago when I thought I misread. I thought it was a misprint. We give advice. Social Security Administration can't. And tons of people go there to get advice. They can't give advice. They can give your highest benefit right now. Next slide. We'll stroll down memory lane. Started in 1935, kind of part of the New Deal through the Social Security Act by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. 65. Some people still think you got to take it 65. That's Medicare. You're forced to unless you've got a group plan of 20 or more. You're forced to, not Social Security. You don't have to take it 65 now. You can take anywhere from 62 to 70. So you can take earlier than full retirement age, and it's reduced. You can make it later than full retirement age, and it's increased. Cost of living started at 75. What's cost of living this year? COLA, cost of living adjustment. That's 5.9%. So this is the 11th. So on Thursday, Social Security Administration will come out and they're going to say what COLA is for next year. My guess, 8.3. 8.3% is my guess. Highest in 40 years. Wow. COLA started in 75. There was no taxation until 83. Up to half of the benefit can be taxed. In 93, Bill Clinton, up to 85% can be taxed if you're above certain tax brackets. That's called you pay taxes on provisional income. And I see FMOs and they come out. Huge tax law changes every year. No, full retirement age changes every year. COLA can change every year, but major changes in the system happens every 7 to 10 years. 2015 was the last time there was a major change. Bipartisan Budget Act. Okay. Remember I said 3 dates age is important. Everything starts from full retirement age. Take earlier, excuse me, take earlier, reduce. Wait later, it's increased. It's pretty much that simple, really. Can Social Security have a huge value? Darn right it can. If you take it your right time. Not the right time, not a right time, but take it your right time. Not the guy next to you or across from you, but what's right for you, which is different than anybody else. It's like snowflakes, they're all unique. If you have any questions, type them in. I'll be more than happy to help you with those. See if I can get this here. I got to put on my reader glasses. Can't even see the screen anymore. Here we go. There we go. Thank you. Trust fund ran a deficit last year. First time in 39 years. First time in 39 years. The only time they go in the trust fund is if payroll taxes, the 6.2% you pay, and the 6.2% your employer pays, if that doesn't pay for the payroll tax. That's why if that can't meet the financial needs of Social Security, about the nearly $1 trillion of benefit paid, they jump into the $2.8 trillion of the trust fund. Had never happened for 39 years until last year. Ran a 56 billion off of 2.8 trillion. That's not much, but it's going to start snowballing. It'll be hundreds of millions this next year, and then it will go up from there. Got about 10 years before it runs out completely. Now, if it runs out completely, you think it's broke. There's going to be no benefit coming in, but that's not right because it's a pay-as-you-go system. Payroll taxes pay for somewhere between 75 and 80% of your benefit comes from payroll taxes. If it ran out of money, okay. So they can tax more. The government, they can go in and increase ages. They'll probably do something of both before it's all said and done. But they're going to make some changes. They're not going to go on in and get a cut in benefits. It is not going to happen. It's a pay-as-you-go system through payroll tax. FICA, Federal Insurance Contributions Act, that's payroll taxes for Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, the 1.45 or 2.9. If you're above 250,000, 3.8 surcharge. Yeah. There's government bonds that is purchased in the trust fund forever, but now those bonds have either been sold or borrowed against by the U.S. government. They use them. They replace them with IOUs. Some people think because it's nothing hard asset-backed Social Security. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's 85 years old, never missed a payment that was due or made. And what backs your currency in your pocket? Gold, silver, bonds? No. Is that a Ponzi scheme? We'll quit using cash then. Yeah. If cash becomes that no one will take cash, I'm going to get concerned about Social Security then. If you got a question, type it in. We go through much slower when we're coaching together. 40 quarters of coverage. That's 10 years of work. It's done off of income, $1,510 this year, $6,040 for the year. More you make, bigger your benefit. You need 40 of those guys to get a coverage. 39, no partial coverages. So how much you make? And there's a limit, 147,000 this year. 147,000. If you make above that, you don't pay into Social Security. So there's a max. Take your highest 35 working years. If you take early, it's discounted. Full retirement age, or FRA. If you're born from 43 to 54, it's 66. I was born in 55, so it's 66 years and 2 months. Then it's 66 years and 4 months, and it goes on up to 67. 1960 or later, 67 is the full retirement age. Don't you like that dog? He's wearing a bone tie. Bad. That's a bad Nebraska joke. Sorry. A newborn born today in 2022, 67 is the full retirement age. They probably will change it, but not now. If you apply before, it's called an actuarial reduction. It goes down. Take as early as 62, it can be only 25 or 30% deduction is what you'll have. If you wait later, which I did last year, yeah, goes up 8% a year. My $3,000 full retirement benefit in 1 year, I grew at 8% plus another 5.9. I grew that 3,000 13.9%, which was over $400, like a mini pension every single year. This year it's going to be bigger. This delay retirement credit is wonderful, especially if there's high inflation with it. Okay? So spousal benefits. Here's my question. Do you got to ask for spousal benefits, or is it done automatically? Given to you and your spouse automatically, or do you have to ask for it? What do you think? Most people say you got to ask for it. Well, you're wrong. It's done automatically. So here's what happens in simple terms, and if we coach, we talk a lot more in depth on this, but PIA stands for primary insurance amount. That's the amount at full retirement age. Dave's is $2,400. Amy's PIA primary insurance amount is $1,000. Dave takes his, Amy takes hers. Highest one always gets theirs. The lowest one has an option. The lower one has an option. All of theirs are half of their spouse, whichever is higher. And remember, Social Security is gender neutral, of course. Well, all of Amy's is $1,000. Half of Dave's is $1,200. You can't get them both. It's one or the other. What's she going to do? She's going to request. Done automatically by the Social Security. It's called deeming. They're going to deem her benefit to be the spousal benefit. She'll get $1,000 of hers and $200 top up of Dave's. Okay. Survivor. My wife got to be concerned that I've been married 41 years, but she always says no one gets out of here alive. Everybody dies physically, maybe not spiritually, but physically. Dave and Amy are married. Dave's benefit, they're both full retirement age or older. Dave's benefit's $2,000. Amy's $1,200. Dave dies, which happens if the man dies 75% of the time. First, Amy has the option. She can go in and keep her benefit, drop Dave's. She can drop her benefit or take Dave's. She can't take both benefits. So it's in her best interest to drop hers and jump up to Dave's. She saves $800. Requested, or is this done automatically? Request. It's biblical. If you don't ask, you don't receive. There's also where file and suspend did away with a file and suspend benefit for married couples. It didn't for survivor. She can go in, or he can go in, let the surviving spouse, they can take their benefit and let the widows grow. They can take the widow's benefit and let theirs grow. There's some ins and outs and specifics of how long it grows, but I will say this, that file and suspend works great if you're in that situation. Divorced spouse benefits, that was one of our test questions. Remember the 4 things? Marriage lasts 10 years or longer continuously. Spouse receiving the benefit is unmarried. X can be married. X is at least 62. Divorced more than 2 years ago. Yeah. And don't forget, there are survivor benefits with divorced. Lots of benefits for divorced. Coordinating spousal benefits, and this gets complicated. The Bipartisan Budget Act, though, did away with file and suspend after 6 months, but the twin sister to that is restricted application. All that is you're letting yours grow and taking a spousal benefit. That spousal benefit is free. So you got to be born after January 2nd of 54. That makes you 68 years and 10 months old. 68 years and 10 months old. If you're younger than that, you can't do that. So then you got to be under 70. So you're just going to have about 15 months in there. But basically how this works, Dave is born in this scenario before January 2nd of 54. Puts him at 68 years and 10 months or older, and not as old as 70. That's the window you got. Dave's primary insurance amount is $2,400. Amy's $1,000. For this to work, Amy has to take hers. She takes her grand. Dave starts his, stops his. In the eyes of Social Security, he's taking his, so he can go get he can delay it, so he can go get a spousal benefit. That's what happens with restricted application. He lets his grow the 8% and taking $500 from Amy's. That spousal benefit's always half of the benefit. $500 times 12 is 6,000. So you get 6,000 a year. I mean, it's free money. You used to have a bigger benefit way back when, but there's still a benefit if you're in that age group. Not going to affect a lot of people, but it certainly could some. Remember, I told you Social Security cannot go in and give you advice. It's wild, isn't it? They can give your highest benefit now. They can give your estimate an individual benefit for you. Tell you what you're going to get at 70, but they can't scenario plan. Look at right in their program's operational manual system under D. Provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices. But you know what they can't do? They can't give advice. Do not give advice. I love it. We do. They don't. I say consider all your income streams before you claim. I always say it's the worst water cooler talk there is. Hey, Dave, I took it 62 and you should too. I took it 70 and you should too. That's like saying, Dave, I love the color violet and you should too. It's up to you. There's so many variables. I think it's the most flexible because you can turn it on when you want, claiming at your right time, not the right time or a right time. And the survivor benefit, I mean, just look at the longer that survivor lives, it takes a survivor benefit, the higher the break even gets. A lot of people don't understand that. So it's the lifetime benefit of the married couple, husband and wife. 5 pillars of income. I use this as a fact sheet to fact find. One of the fact finding sheets I use. Wages, part-time, full-time, pensions if you're lucky enough to have it. But those income-producing assets, I mean, that's where I find out all that 401k, 403b, 457 through a savings plan, simple, SEP, IRAs, Roth, anything to do with, it could be alimony, child support, real estate, cash value, life insurance, all those things. But I'm looking for assets here that I can work with. RMD start at 72. Next year, most likely, because of the Secure Act 2.0, they're going to go to 73, then eventually to 75, which is great. And how Social Security complements those other income streams. So a lot here to digest. You darn right there is. Tons of benefits. I mean, there's so many claiming options. Remember, there's 3 ways you can learn Social Security. Your Social Security seminars, $2,750 guaranteed 35. Guaranteed 35 people to sign up. Guaranteed. You get 3 sessions there. IAMS pays for them, doesn't cost you a thing. Retirement Boss Radio, again, I coach you up on Social Security. 3 sessions doesn't cost you a thing. If you just want to a la carte it, don't want seminar marketing, Retirement Boss Radio marketing, just on its own, yeah. 4 sessions for $800. You need to sell about a $12,000 fixed indexed annuity to cover that. And I will tell you, knowing Social Security should get you much, much more than that type of money. There's an old saying that says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. I joke because it never comes. It's like down in my man cave, I have the sign that says free beer tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. If you saw something today and you say, hey, you know what, I should learn something about Social Security, absolutely mark yes on this poll. Because we're going to sit down. They're going to, Brady's going to call you. And he's got my calendar. And I'll between appointments that I have, because I stay pretty busy, but I got time for 15 or 20 minutes to talk to you, to really go on in and see what you're doing, how you're marketing, how Social Security could maybe not just make an impact, but a major impact, because it certainly has mine. I mean, I'd been in the business for 29 or 30 years before I really understand Social Security, and there's no doubt that it has really, really helped me from a production standpoint. But if you'd like to get to talk with me, get some information, not going to be a long conversation, but a point in one. Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Yes, I'd love for you to talk with you and just give you some insight and see if we could help your production. Steve, I'm going to turn it over for you for any questions that may have come up.
Thanks, Dave. And people are voting like crazy. Thank you for that. A lot of interest in Social Security claiming for, I think, very good reason. I do find that when people come to this webinar, that's really they're already predisposed, and good webinar as always. So a couple questions, not necessarily about Social Security claiming, but about how Social Security claiming is used. So as a, for instance, one individual, a couple variations really of the same question, but how do you do business from Social Security claiming knowledge? And then one person said, let me just read it here so I get it right. How do you pivot from Social Security seminars to business?
Yeah, it's a trick. And Steve, that I mean, I'm a pretty good salesperson. And 11 years ago, I think you said how it was. I said, "Oh, I got all kinds of appointments, and I'm shooting them with grenades." It was just terrible. But I got the hang of it, and I have a system now. But what happens is, let me just say, because I'm a coach and I make money from coaching. Part of it, I do outside coaching too. But that five pillars of income, if you just go get that information and you're looking for those retirement plan assets, just assets in general, you can fact find that. But I do have, Steve, and this is strictly optional, but I have a three, as you know, and I do a lot of this, but sales process coaching.
Mm-hmm.
First, I do it over 3 sessions. I charge $600 for that, and you get all my fact finders and how I handle objections and my trial closing and the presentation itself. I mean, you get every single thing, the client who gets that. So you can kind of go off of coaching through Social Security and get part of it. But if you really want to go into depth, yeah, I mean, that's the one great thing of having a coach on board is that they do it. I mean, I got 4 face-to-face appointments today, and I have a Social Security workshop tonight that I think I'll get. I think I'll get at least 10 more appointments from that. I had 3 appointments from Retirement Boss Radio this weekend. I mean, it's just appointments are the name of the game. You get me in front of enough people, and I'm going to write business. But that sales process is key. So that transition, it is kind of tricky, but you're fact finding for the essentials, income and assets, the essentials, income and assets. And once you get that, you're uncovering assets to be able, maybe you can work with 1 or 2 of those or all of them. That helps you get to the finalization of when for them to take Social Security. So you're uncovering your business as you're figuring out when they can take their Social Security.
Well, so we got a quick follow up to that. I sense that maybe we've got some folks aboard with us that have done some Social Security seminars or done some Social Security mailings where they have had trouble making that transition. And here's what we know, Dave, from having done this for as many years as we have with that. That is not an uncommon issue. In fact, I would say it's probably, getting people in front of you and talking about Social Security is more of a math problem. Hey, how many people how do I do it? How do I get people in front of me? What's the cost of it? But then moving from that to, hey, let's start doing some business. I think that's where a lot of people have a downfall that they didn't expect. And so if that's something that you need assistance with, that transitioning, it's a really a multi-million-dollar skill set that Dave can help you with, because as Dave alluded to already, he had that same issue 10, 11 years ago, when he did his first seminars and got in front of the first folks. And, I mean, they come in for appointments, but how do I make that next step? And so if that's something that you have had an issue with in the past and want to have a surefire method of getting around that, I would definitely put yes on that poll and spend some minutes with Dave and decide how to move forward. Cost of Social Security seminars, Dave. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, but our best success has been with the digital environment. And you want to talk a little bit about that and how that works again exactly. I think maybe we didn't spend enough time on that.
Yeah, so Facebook, our guy is pretty darn good at what he does, and he's personally coached a couple different times with Facebook, paid big money, thousands of dollars to coach with them about all their algorithms and so forth. He was going into it one time, and I said, "You lost me like 3 sentences ago. I believe you. All I want to do is make sure people sign up. Not a perfect science, and Facebook has changed a lot of different things. But I will tell you this: there is no doubt that our Facebook marketing is extremely competitive, and we guarantee 35 attendees. Now, maybe not all those attendees will come, but we guarantee 35 attendees to come. And when 35 attendees come, 35 registers to come. Excuse me again. They're not guaranteed to come, but the registers, people who sign up, 35, and hopefully we can get a fair amount of those people to actually come to the workshop. There is a guarantee there on that $2,750, but it's pretty slick, and it comes right. I mean, as they sign up, and if you can get, on your computer or on your phone, like on my phone, you can just see them popping. I mean, as they come on in, and we have a system how we follow up to make sure we get as many of those possible to the workshop like I have tonight as you can. But he does a very, very good job, very thorough. Does a lot of marketing with Facebook other than just seminar marketing. So he's a gem, and we've had a relationship with them. Steve Iams has, and myself for quite a few years now, and we're one of their players. I mean, we're one of the FMOs that we do a lot of business with them, and we're very busy right now, with the amount of Social Security workshops we have. So, yeah, if you have some interest there, certainly mark yes on this poll, and I'll be more than happy to give you some insight about that.
Yeah, it's certainly notable what you mentioned there towards the end, Dave, where we saw we canceled probably 18 to 20 seminars in the 2 to 3 weeks when the pandemic really took over. And it's been a while getting back up to the point where we've got folks doing that again, and right now we do. And the reason that is because it's working again. So people are willing and ready and able to come out and sit in front of you, and there's no substitute for that. There's a lot of different things that we tried in the digital environment, but there just is no substitute for people coming out, sitting down in front of you, and you have the opportunity to walk through not just Social Security, but a little bit about your expertise and how you can help them, and how Social Security is a big part of a much larger picture. And if you can get people in front of you, 35 attendees or 35 registrants is probably going to result in your estimation, Dave, on how, if everything is followed, if it's done right, how many people do you expect to sit in front of when you have at least 35 registrants?
If you have 35 registrants, I would say that the Facebook average is about half of those people come. So that would be maybe 16, 17, 18. I think that if you follow our system of contacting them and what to send them, I think that 35, I think that you'll get 25 to 27 people there. And of that, you'll probably get 20 buying units, and half of those people should sign up for appointments. There's lots of do's and don'ts when it comes to workshop marketing, which I walk you through. I mean, what's the goal? Steve, what's the sole goal of having a seminar? The sole goal of just a seminar itself?
Getting an appointment.
Well, you're exactly right. It's not writing the business, is it? Because that comes from the sales process. It's just what you want to do is get people in the seats, and that's the whole goal. And then, of course, those seats you want to get appointments. But that's the whole idea of the seminar, is to get people in the seats qualified. But then you, once they're in the seats, then you go in and take them to get the appointment, and then to write business. So we want to fill up the room. And that's what we try to do with $2,750. Shop that around. I'll tell you what, you might be able to find something less expensive, but I'll tell you what, by far the majority. I mean, I just run into a guy. He did the very same thing. We had the same kind of turnout that he did, and he just paid $4,600 for it. So big difference, big difference.
Yeah, there's all kinds of, we've gotten off track, I think, because of the questions, but there's all kinds of different offers out there for Social Security seminars. And the two things you should take from that is, number one, you have to look around and see what the best opportunity for you is. Number two, you should take from that, because there is so much interest. The reason that is because it does work. It does place you in a position of being a resource, and that's what you want to do, a resource around people's retirement. What better spot do you want to be in than being that resource? And Dave, when you have 10 appointments, how many of those people come in and it's just, hey, I'm just helping them with their Social Security? There really isn't much opportunity. Is there, I'm sure some of that goes on. You've been doing it so long. What do you think the number of folks are that you're just helping them with their Social
Well,
Security?
yeah. So you're going to have, if you have 10 appointments, half of them, half, either have no interest, no money, or a current advisor they're very happy with. Half. So you need 10 appointments to get 5 that go into a second appointment. And of that 5, you're going to close normally anywhere between 25 and 50% of that 5. So you're going to get between 1 and 2 or 3 pieces of business out of that on an average. That's why you need 10 appointments or more. If you have 5 appointments, the odds aren't with you. So like tonight, and remember, I have there's 2 nights off of every seminar campaign. This is just my first night. I've got the second night coming up later this week. So what happens is I think I'm going to get 8 to 10 appointments tonight, which is pretty exciting.
Yep.
Yep.
So Barry asked the question. He said, what if we want to be in front of more people? Because he did a quick calculation and he figured, and he didn't realize that we were talking 2 seminars, but he figured that meant that we're probably in front of about 15 to 25 people a seminar. He said, what if we wanted to increase that to a higher number, like double it? Have you ever, and I know that you like them maybe a little bit more. I mean, it's always great to be in front of more people, but I think you generally think spending half the money for a more intimate setting is better than spending twice the money for a less intimate setting. But
Right. Yeah, there's certainly places that are harder to get people to. That I mean, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska is it's not an easy place. It's not a simple place. So what happens is we got one going in Florida right now, in a big city of Florida, and there's no doubt that Florida sometimes, just because of the snowbirds and over mailings and how many dinner workshops. This is not a dinner workshop. This is I call it you give them 3 C's: Cokes, cookies, and coffee. It's very limited. There's no meal. But we'll see on this first one. If we need more, then we add another. It's $2,750. Maybe add another $500 to it, and just in that you could do that. But I'll tell you what, I love a setting of 10 to 15 people. It's intimate. It seems like it's family.
controllable.
That's right. When you get 25, 30 people, I mean, it's great to have the numbers there. But I'll tell you, and I have found out that more appointments fall off the bigger the room is. So you got to have enough. But if I can have 10 to 15, 12 to 18, I love that size of room. So if it's more, so be it. But it seems like the intimacy, it's easy. You're exactly right. It's easy to control the room then.
Good. And we'll just add one more question on seminars. I don't want to get too far off track. I sense that there's a lot of interest in seminars in general with the group. But so we've got an individual that has actually paid per attendee. Do we offer a per attendee cost? And talk a little bit about that, Dave, the per attendee cost that some competitors offer.
We do not, and I tell you why we don't, Steve. Remember, we tried this one time, but we had trouble. They have to follow. We needed them to follow the way that we contact the person once they are signed up, and we couldn't really guarantee that, and so we know exactly how many people sign up. So that's what we give the guarantee on: sign-ups, not the actual people there. So if you have sign-ups and never contact them again, you're not going to have a very good showing. If you do what we tell you, you're going to have a pretty darn good showing. So it's on the sign-ups, not on the actual attendees.
Yep. Well, the bottom line is that when you're paying to have people based on it, you're saying, okay, I'll pay you $250 per attendee. That's a pretty good number that you're paying, $250 per each. And generally what they're doing for that is doing the same Facebook advertising, but they're doing the follow-ups for you. So the question is it better and more efficient and effective for you to do your own or have someone in your office doing that quick follow-up? Maybe it's an email, maybe it's a text, maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's all three, probably is all three before. And so that they're used to contact from you in your office as opposed to contact from a third party that has nothing to do with you. I think of those two, you can understand why it's better for you to make that follow up on a relatively small group. We understand why you can't do your Facebook advertising, but I think it makes sense for the individual to do their own follow up. So then get used to kind of hearing from your office, because that's what you need to do is build that relationship before and after the event in order to maximize the efficiency of your time and your expense. So
Oh,
that's
I
why we,
agree.
yeah, go ahead, Dave.
No, you're exactly right. I agree. Yeah, what happens is you get third party. I mean, one of the biggest players out there, and they're very good. I've used them before. I mean, you know what I mean, I kind of wanted to see what they were doing and how they did things, but they're expensive. They're good, but they're very expensive, and they'll make all your calls. See, and that just sounds just great. But you know what? No one does it better than you. It's your money. It's not their money. Hey, you know what? It's just like yesterday, Steve. I was following through on some Annuity Academy folks, that we had, and normally my administrators and things have been so darn busy here, which is business, that they got behind, and so I made the calls. And you know what? It was like, hey, I had two of them say, hey, I'm surprised it was you. I mean, I'm really glad to talk to you, Dave. So you know what? It could be your administrators. That's still from your office. But if it's you, I'll tell you what. To call 15 people, it's going to take you about 45 minutes. You're going to get a hold of about a third of them and leave message. But what happens is that what we tell the people is, hey, if you sign up, take the call. And so all of a sudden that third goes to you get a hold of probably 60, 70% of the people and the others by the rest of the day. We have a track. You just don't want to reinvent the wheel. We got the wheel. Is the wheel perfect? No. Does it work pretty darn good though? It gets you from A to B pretty darn good. Use our wheel. Don't create your own.
Well,
Hey,
that's a
Steve, and
good.
I'm going to have Steve.
Yep.
I actually have an appointment in Omaha,
Oh,
so
good.
I got to do this pretty quick here, and then I'll let you finish. Okay?
Okay. Well, why don't you finish up, and then I had two questions about
Yeah.
Retirement Boss Radio, so I'm gonna
Good.
show
Good.
them
Okay.
your
Good.
site.
Good.
Yep.
Hey, I'm looking forward to Steve's. He'll finish up this in the next couple 5 minutes. I've got actually, you know what? This is true. So I got an appointment at 12 o'clock today, which is in an hour, and I got a little touch of preparation. But she just rolled her check over. She worked for the Veterans Administration, and it's about 280,000. And where did this money come from? Came from the Thrift Savings Plan. How did I get the lead? That was a Social Security workshop at the Elkhorn Library about a month and a half ago. The check just came on in. I'll tell you right now, Social Security workshops, and he's going to talk a little bit about Retirement Boss Radio also. We got 3 appointments last week for that, but they work. If you're in a little bit of a rut marketing or you need to get in front of more people, again, mark yes. Steve will put it up one more time, but mark yes on that poll. Would love to talk to you. And thank you everybody for being on the workshop, Steve. And stay on the line. Steve will finish it on up, and I appreciate it, Steve.
Not at all, Dave. Have a great day. Good luck on your appointment. Stop by and see me if you're in Omaha.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
You bet. Bye-bye. Okay, so we did have a couple questions on Retirement Boss Radio. Certainly, there's a lot talked about in Retirement Boss Radio that is not Social Security claiming, but it is probably the most common subject matter that comes up that is a call to action during the radio show. And so, question was, how do you do Social Security? So Dave does not do a Social Security seminar on the radio. That's not how it works. What he does is he talks about the importance of Social Security and making sure that that retirement asset is working as hard as it can for you and offering the assistance, and then saying, hey, if you need some assistance or if you'd like to hear more on maximizing that retirement asset that is so very important to everybody, Social Security, call the first 5 callers who will give a free Social Security review. And he does that during his radio show. And he does do the review for them. And of course, when they call in during the radio show, it's not a live radio show, it's recorded. And you can then, what happens is your answering service that is all set up as well, then sets that appointment for you on your calendar. So it's a kind of a turnkey system. And so here's and I chatted this to you all. Here's the website for Retirement Boss Radio. It's www.retirementbossradio.com. And the reason I pulled it up is because it isn't always obvious as to where to listen to the radio show, because that's what somebody asked is, can I listen to the radio show from where I am? And so Dave has them as podcasts. And so if you go to his website, pretty far down at the bottom, almost down at the very end, you will find podcasts of his radio show. And you can see that they are divided into 26-minute segments. The radio show is actually an hour, but you've got 2 half-hour segments. Actually, you have 4 about 13-minute segments, but he does 2 of them at once. And so you can listen to, like this one was his radio show from October 1st, is one that's highlighted there. So if you wanted to go in and listen to how that sounds, almost every half-hour section would include a call to action regarding Social Security claim. He also does, do you need help maximizing your 401k? Do you know about Roth conversions and how they work? Some of the basic things that you think might be of interest to seniors are all call to actions that gets covered during his radio show. But if you want to hear what that sounds like, it's very professionally done. We have a third party that does the production, which includes kind of the sidekick. The answering service is one that has been vetted over many years now, and it does the best job of any that we have found. They do a really great job of closing and getting those appointments set up on your calendar, and so that it really is a turnkey system. And if you want to hear how that sounds, and people are like, well, yeah, Dave sounds like that, but I won't. That's the way everybody sounds like that. It's the way that the recording is done and the production is done. You're going to have a very professional sounding radio show. Some benefits of that is, of course, the appointments themselves. You'll get you probably average 2 per show. You do 4 shows. There are 4 shows per month, which you record in advance, and you record them half-hour segments. And so basically what happens is you get to record about 6 or 7 half-hour segments over time, and then you just record another 1 or 2 or 3 a month after that, and then some of those are repeated to get you your full hour of broadcast each and every Saturday or Sunday, or some do them on Wednesday evening or Thursday evening. And so it's less trouble than you might think once you get it rolling, and you're going to get a couple appointments per week, sometimes 4, sometimes 1, sometimes 6, sometimes 2, whatever. But on average, you can probably expect during the course of a month to add another 10 or 12 pretty high quality appointments to your rolls of appointments. So really good stuff, turnkey. If you want to talk more about radio, that would be a good reason also to have a call with Dave. If you neglected to put yes on the poll and you want to have a conversation with Dave, I would just give us a call here at the office. It's 800-255-5055. Just ask for me, ask for any sales director and say, I want to set up a call with Dave. You'll find it beneficial. If you're looking to grow your business and maximize what you're doing in terms of time and get in front of people, we can certainly help you with that. And that's what we're about here. Now I'm just going to close this out, I think. There we go. If you have interest in any of the things that we talked about, don't hesitate to give your sales director, or even myself, a call at 800-255-5055. We're here to help you. We know when your business is successful and you grow your business and look back to and say, hey, IAMS helped me with that. It builds a lot of loyalty, and it builds a great relationship over time. So that's why we're here today. That's why we do a lot of webinars. In fact, that brings me to the final question: was is this recorded, or can we get these slides? And you can listen to the recording after the event. And I want to show you where you can find that really quick. I just texted it or chatted it to you. It's www.iamsinc.com. That's going to take you to our website. And I know the YouTube link isn't probably just doesn't jump out at you, but it's right here. And that basically, I haven't logged in, and you don't need to log in to get access to this, but this will take you to our recorded events, and there's a lot of them, as you can see, and we talk about a lot of different things. But if you wanted to listen to, for instance, the last one we did on Social Security, this one will be out there probably tomorrow, but you can go back and listen to the last one that we did about September 27th. That was the date of that one, and that's really good stuff. And let's say you want to learn about sales ideas from a top producer, and we want to talk about if you want to hear more about Roth conversions, you can do that here. If you want to hear more specifically about Retirement Boss Radio, we've got that webinar as well here. So there's all kinds of great subject matter out there. and we record whatever we can to make it as easy as possible for you to get the information. If you have any questions, give us a call. This is our website, www.iamsinc.com, IAMSINC.com. A lot of good stuff out there, including these recordings. So let us know how we can help you. Thank you for joining us today. We did go a little over, had a lot of good questions. Thank you for those. Appreciate your time here today. And give us a call here at the office, 800-255-5055. Let us help you grow your business. Thank you.